Okay, students. Now, after the discussion of our units and dimension, error analysis, significant figure, we switch over to a new topic, that is scalars and vectors. Scalars and vectors. So, before we start this topic, what this need of these scalars and vectors we will discuss. We try to understand what is the need of this one. So now, as you know, scalars. What is the scalar means? If I ask what is scalar? Scalar are those physical quantities which have only magnitude, and no directions. That is a scalars. So when we start this topic, first is what is the scalars? Then we will go for the need of this one. First we know that scalars, and generally, commonly, we are using these scalars. So what I told that scalars are the physical quantities, these are the physical quantities. What is the physical quantities? Already you know that. In one sentence, what you will say that what is a physical quantity? What is a physical quantity? The quantities, all those quantities which can be measured, and by help of which the laws of physics can be explained. The quantities which can be measured in one sentence. That is the physical quantity. So the physical quantities which have only magnitude, and no direction. The physical quantities which have only magnitude and no direction are called scalars. What it means? These physical quantities which have only magnitude, no direction. What it means? I have 5 kg mass. 5 kg means that is naturally mass. 5 kg of potatoes, and my friend brought 2 kg of potato and hand over to me. Already I have 5 kg, he brought 2 kg, so the total mass of potato with me is 5 plus 2, 7 kg. Or I have 5 kg of potato, my friend took 2 kg from me. How much left with me? 5 minus 2, 3 kg. The simple thing, these are, when we are discussing all these things, nowhere we are connected with the direction. There is no direction term comes. Only there is a numerical value and with its unit. So a scalar is expressed by a numerical value with a proper unit. So a scalar we can write here what? It is represented by It is represented by a numerical value with unit clear. And when I am asking about you what is left or what is with me, you are just adding or subtracting, means simple algebra. 5 plus 3 or 5 plus 2, 5 minus 3, like that. So they means we can say that the scalars are added algebraically. These are scalars, these are added algebraically. Means the law of algebra, addition, subtraction, already you know that from what, LKG, UKG, or from your beginning. You know about the addition, subtraction, all these things, and they obey this simple algebra. Clear? This is the scalars, and the examples are only magnitude part is the, already I told that mass. You can also say length. Examples you can say mass. This is a physical quantity. Similarly length. There are no direction. Time. To express that, we are not concerned with their direction. All these things are not coming here. Density. Clear? These are the etc. We will come across with so many numbers up. So for the time being I am writing 4. You can write more than that also. Okay. And electric current. These are also you can write here electric current. Okay. But this is about scalars. Now my point is, what is the need of this one? Again I am repeating that point. What is the need of these vectors? If these are the scalars, these are the physical quantities, what is the need of these vectors? What is the need of these vectors? Right. Now tell me, what is the need of this vector? Now you see here. If I will tell you, I am very much tired today because I run 3 kilometers. Because I run 3 kilometers. Is that clear? Today I run 3 kilometers. That's why I am very much tired. Is that clear? The same sentence I will tell like this. Today I run 3 kilometers towards my home from the college, so that I am very much tired. It is more clear. It is more clear. Means here in the second sentence, when I am explaining about the second line, there I used my running of 3 kilometers is in a particular direction. So direction term is involved. Like that. This is the body, right? Because of a force, the body moves. Because of the application of a force, or I pull this body and it moves. I pull this body and it moves. This is the sentence. Now I will tell that. I pull this body towards north and the body moves in the direction of north. I pull this body towards north and the body moves in the direction of north. Is that clear? Now in the second sentence, it is more clear. The body moves in the north direction because a pull is nothing but a force. A force is applied towards north and the body is moving towards the north. It is a more clear. A clear picture comes in our mind. Means the direction is required to explain, to understand a physical quantity more clearly. But the question is, can I put the direction to everything? No. Every physical quantity cannot be put directions. You cannot say the mass 5 kg is coming in what direction? It is not possible. It is 2 seconds towards north. Time. It is 2 seconds towards north. It is not possible. So there are some physical quantities which should not be expressed with direction. But there are certain physical quantities which should be expressed with directions. And the other thing is that a bird is flying. I observe that a bird is flying. But if I say that the bird is flying at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal, when I observe the bird is flying at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. This is the horizontal. I am standing here. The bird is flying at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal towards northeast. Now you see here, as a physics student, you got a more clear picture idea about this. Clear picture or idea about the second, about the position of the bird, in what direction the bird is moving. Means when there is a one-dimensional motion, when I am moving in a straight line, you can say I can move forward or backward. There are two possibilities. In forward, you can say it is positive. In backward, you can say negative. Otherwise, it is your convenient. You can say backward is positive, forward is negative. So you can express plus or minus with direction concept. But then I say that the second case, the bar is flying at an angle of 30 degree with the horizontal. I am standing at the origin or at a place, and I put that place here. I am standing here, the bar is flying at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal. Then I observe at this place. When I observe from the top of my college, when I observe from the top of or the building number 5, from the building number 5. At that building number 5 I am standing and I am observing the bar is flying at an angle 30 degree with the horizontal. It is more clear. Here needs what? Direction. So if you got the direction, you got a clear idea. Is that clear? So my point is that this is the need of vectors. This is the need of vectors. Clear? So if it is a 3 dimension, you cannot say it is plus or minus. If it is 60 degree, you can. This is also a possibility. If the bar is flying at an angle of 90 degree, it is possible. The bar is flying at an angle of 15 degree, it is also possible. But in that case, you cannot put the positive or negative sign. Means the direction is important. Means that should be expressed with direction. So that the direction gives you the scalar changes to vector. Means the scalar concept is not sufficient. Now we will shift over to vectors. Is that clear? What is the need of this vector? Now I will go for the vectors. Let me write this. Let me erase this one. Now, can I write now? All of you got that? What is vector? What is the need of this vector? So means the vector are we can say here the physical quantities, which have which have both the magnitude and direction. Both magnitude and direction. Magnitude and direction, right? But in addition to the another term is there. If you go in detail, when you go in detail, you can understand that, and it should be written in vector definition. The physical quantities which have both magnitude and direction, and obey the laws of vector addition, and which obeys the laws of vector addition are called vectors or vector quantities. Vectors are simply vectors or vector quantities. It means in that definition it has both magnitude and direction. That is clear. Means vectors should have magnitude and direction. In addition to that, the vectors obey the laws of vector addition. Means this laws of vector addition is something different. It is not algebraic addition like your scalars. Means here direction is involved. If magnitude is involved, you can add algebraically. But direction is involved so that it should not be like your simple algebraic additions or subtractions like that. Means the addition is something different. What that different? The addition is that they are added geometrically. They are added geometrically. This is the laws of vector addition. The vectors are added geometrically. Got that? Geometrically. We will discuss what is that laws of vector addition. That is the next video. We will discuss how they are added geometrically. Means they are not added algebraically. That is clear. They are added geometrically because they involve direction. Clear? Means the bird is flying. When I observe the bird is flying at an angle of 30 degree. When I am on the top of the tower, I observe that, and the bird is flying at an angle 30 degree with respect to me. After 10 seconds, after 10 minutes, suppose, or after 5 minutes, now the bird turns at an angle of 60 degree with the horizontal. Means here you cannot add like that to know about this bird position, to know about detail about this one. You cannot add like 30, 60 or like that. You cannot add it algebraically. You should do something with the direction part. So that's why they are added geometrically. Clear? But they obey the laws of vector addition. The vector addition laws are added geometrically. We will discuss that later part. Clear? And while this is so, as I told that example is the one is called as the electric current. I am not writing here the example. Here the general examples are your velocity, displacement. There is a term called as displacement. But when you are asked about the dimensional analysis, that distance, displacement, length, all are of same dimension. But here, on basis of scalars and vectors, distance is a scalar, but displacement is a vector. We will discuss that. Displacement, right? Velocity, acceleration, means they require the direction. To represent that more clearly, they require direction. Force, clear, etc. And remember one thing, I told that electric current is a scalar quantity. You can ask me, electric current has direction? Yes, electric current has direction. It has magnitude. 5 ampere current flows from the switch. When I switch on, 5 ampere current flows from there to my fan, to the fan. And the fan is working. And the fan is working. That is the case. But you can say it is moving in a particular direction. Why you are not putting that in vector form? In vector? No, they are not added geometrically. They does not follow the laws of vector addition. That's why that electric current is in a scalar. That is a scalar quantity. So this is one of the examples. So we can say that complete statement should be like this. That should obey the laws of vector addition. Clear? Now so far I think that I've cleared your idea. I cleared the idea about scalars and vectors. So means, again I am repeating, scalar has only magnitude. Vector has both magnitude and direction. Scalars are added algebraically. Vectors are added, or they are added by the laws of vector addition or geometrically. Is that clear? And if the magnitude changes, the scalar changes. But in vector case, magnitude changes, vector changes. In addition to that, if direction changes, the vector also changes. Because they are represented by both the quantities. Scalar vectors are represented by both the quantities, magnitude and direction. If direction changes, the vector is different. I am moving towards north at 5 km/h. This is a vector. That is the velocity vector. 5 km/h towards north. If I say the same sentence, I am moving 5 km/h towards south, it involves another direction. So the both are different according to vectors. They are not same. But if they are scalar, if I say that in scalar form, the same sentence I can say, I am moving 5 km/h, not direction. I am moving 5 km/h. It's okay, both are same. They are scalar, they have only magnitude. Means I am second sentence I am telling you about the magnitude part only. But if the direction is there and the direction changes, the vector also changes. Is that clear? Now we will go for the representation of a vector. Can I erase this one? Okay. Okay. Representation of a vector. Now we will go for the representation of a vector. A vector is represented by a vector quantity is represented by a straight line with an arrowhead. A vector quantity is represented by a straight line with an arrowhead. The length of the straight line gives you the magnitude. Because it is both, length gives you the magnitude is given by the length of the straight line. Arrowhead gives you the direction. Arrowhead gives you direction. Take a simple example. Let me draw the directions north, south, suppose east, west. I have shown the direction like this, north, south, east, west. Right? Here, take that a body is moving in northeast direction. Right? The body is moving in a northeast direction. So that can be shown by a vector. So with a velocity of 5 km/h, how I will represent that by a vector? With 5 km/h. So here 5 km/h towards northeast direction. This can be represented like this by a vector. Means this can be represented like this, where this 5 km/h is represented by this length. Now you can ask me how the length can be represented 5 km/h. Already you know that in your scale, you are using the scale. Then in the map, when you see the maps, the boundary of India, it is a thousands of kilometers, but that can be shown on a paper by using scale. Scale means 1000 kilometers is 1 centimeter. So accordingly you can make that. Similarly, a 5 km per hour means if I consider 1 kilometer as 1 cm, so I will make the length as 5 cm. Then here 1 kilometer is 1 cm, 1 kilometer per hour is 1 cm, because 5 kilometer per hour, 1 kilometer per hour is 1 cm, then 5 kilometer per hour is 5 cm. So I show this the magnitude, and the arrowhead gives you the direction, that is towards the northeast. This is the representation of a vector. Clear? So, and this represent the vector, and in a simple notation, this is the representation like that, where you can represent a vector. Okay. Similarly, if a vector is represented like this, means a force of 5 Newton in this direction. For 5 Newton in this direction means I can make that, or suppose 7 Newton in this direction. So I can make that, let 1 Newton as 1 cm, or you can take also by your convenience. Suppose it is 8 Newton is given, I can take 2 Newton as 1 cm. Then I will draw a line of 4 cm. Then I put a arrow in what direction it is acting. So this is the vector representation. But in a simple notation, always we cannot show like that. Always we are not using a scale to represent that vectors, all these things. In simple notations, we can represent a vector by single alphabets, by alphabets. What are the alphabets? Single letters of alphabets, and that can be single letters. A force, I can write this as a single alphabet, right, with an arrow over its top, with an arrow at its top. Clear? With an arrow over it, with an arrow over it. It can be, or in some books you will find it will be written in bold letter like this. It will be written in a bold letter, but it is not convenient for us. Always you cannot write this bold letter. While printing, they can write bold letters, but we can write like this. A vector in alphabet A with an arrow. So this is a vector. P with an arrow. This is a vector. Means don't think that this arrow will give you the direction of the vector in this direction, in this particular direction, not like that. It is a vector with an arrowhead. Or F like this means this F vector is only in this direction, not always. It is a simple representation. It is simple representation. It is not along that direction. A force of 8 Newton along this direction, I can say that the force F, 8 Newton is the unit of, and Newton is the unit of force. I can represent that F with an arrow like this. This F is equal to 8 Newton. I can write towards north, like that. 8 Newton magnitude path, north direction. So that is the representation. It means north means you cannot write like this with north like this. This is not the representation. Clear? So this is the representation of a vector. Is that clear? Now I will go for the some definitions in the vector algebra. Some definitions in vector algebra. Okay. So from the terms, first term we will go for the position vector. Position vector. And this is always remember. This is very, very important one till the end of physics. It is always required. Position vector. What is this position means? Now the simple example. Clear? This is an object. Think that this is a pen. This is the pen or is an object. When I stand here, I am getting? I am clear? When I am standing here. Now I will say that the pen is to my left. When I stand here, I am not moving the pen. I am moving myself. Where is the pen? Pen is to my right. Pen is to my right. Pen is to my left. What's the difference? If I changes my position, this object is fixed. But for me, the position of the object is different when I move. When I move. That means a position vector, a vector which gives position, a vector which gives position of an object or a body, a vector which gives the position of an object with reference to the origin. I am the origin. For me, I am the origin. Or generally we will use another term that is called frame of reference. Right? With respect to the origin of a coordinate system. I will make it more clear. Coordinate system. The origin of a coordinate system is called position vector. Is called a position vector. Now think about this one. Means what? The position vector, a vector which gives position of the object with reference to the origin of a coordinate system. Already you know that XYZ coordinate system, XY coordinate system. In your mathematics already you read that. Or here I am drawing this like this. This is a coordinate system. This is the plane coordinate system, XY coordinate system. Let P is the position of an object and I am the origin, means I am standing here. I am here at O. Then the position vector of an object with reference to the origin of a coordinate system. With reference to the origin of the coordinate system, I can show like this with an arrow mark. So this is called as the position vector. Generally, the position vector is represented as R, and this is the notation of the vector R vector. So for point P, its position vector is OP, that is equal to R. That is equal to R. So I can write here OP, which is equal to, I am telling R, is the position vector of P with respect to O, with respect to origin O. What it gives? The position vector provides two information. It provides us two information. What that information? It tells the straight line distance, this distance from the origin, If this is the object, I am the origin, here is the origin, I am here the origin, and this is the object. It gives me how much distance from me. This distance, it is the magnitude. At what distance? Magnitude. And in what direction? Let's take this as theta. With horizontal, what direction? Theta. So it provides two information. It tells the direction of the object and also it tells the direction of the object with respect to whom? Origin. And also the straight line distance, of that object with respect to the origin. Is that clear? Now, for different position of the object, now the object is moving from, suppose here, now the object is coming here Q at this position after at later instant. Then what is its position vector? The arrow marks towards the body, not towards the origin, because it is a vector. position vector. You should put the direction, right? So OQ is the position vector for the object at a Q. When the position changes, the position vector also changes. What changes? You can say, yes, it looks like the same magnitude, but what changes? Its direction changes. Here is theta, here this is alpha. Now not the same thing. So it provides two information. This is called the position vector. Is that clear? Now, next we will go for the another term associated in equal vectors. Now come to equal vectors. What is this equal vectors means? Two vectors are said to be equal vectors. Two vectors are said to be equal vectors. Are said to be equal. Two vectors are said to be equal. Two vectors are said to be equal. Two vectors are there, they said to be equal if they have the same magnitude and same direction. If they have same magnitude and same direction. If they have same magnitude and same direction. What it means? Vector means it should be magnitude and direction. Same magnitude and same direction. Let a vector A, the length representation of a vector. It represents the magnitude and the arrowhead give you the direction. Here, this is a vector, suppose A. Another vector, same magnitude, same direction B. Then what we say? A and B are two equal vectors. A and B are said to be two equal vectors. This is the representation to show you like that. Now if I displace the B parallel to itself, A is this much. Now instead of taking this B, I move this B parallel. Then this is the same B. Now if I shift that vector parallel, then they have same magnitude and same direction. A and B are also parallel, also equal vectors. A and B also equal vector. Means if vector is displaced parallel to itself, vector is displaced parallel to itself, but it remains equal to itself. It will remain equal to itself. B and B both are equal vectors, and also they are equal. Okay. So they have same magnitude and same direction. Then negative of a vector. What is the negative of a vector? Negative of a vector or negative vector. What is negative vector? A vector is said to be the negative. A vector is said to be the negative of another vector if they have same magnitude but opposite direction. That means the magnitude or the negative, a vector is said to be negative of another vector if they have, means both, if both have same magnitude and opposite direction. Clear? Same magnitude but having opposite direction. Same thing I am repeating here. Vector A, B is also the same magnitude, length is same, but opposite direction. This is the opposite direction. That is called the negative vector. Clear? Is that clear about equal vectors and negative vectors? Let me erase this one. Now we go for the parallel vector. Parallel vector. What is this? Parallel vectors. So, two vectors are said to be parallel vectors if they have same magnitude. If they have same direction but may or may not have same magnitude. Means you can say if they have same magnitude, then this is the equal vectors. If not that, then we can say that means you are not very much concerned with the magnitude part. They may or may not have same magnitude but same direction, right? So we can write here same direction of the two vectors have same magnitude, same direction and may or may not have same magnitude are called parallel vectors. Parallel vectors means the angle between the two parallel vectors is 0 degree. Means how will show that they have same direction. So this is a vector A, another vector B, same direction, or vector A, vector B, both are same direction but magnitude may or may not. This is called as a parallel vector. Then what is the angle between them? Angle is 0 degree. Angle between the two parallel vectors. We will discuss this angle part, how this angle is calculated. Angle between the two parallel vectors is 0 degree. Similarly, another one is called as the anti-parallel vectors. Anti-parallel vectors. Say two vectors have opposite direction, may or may not have same magnitude. Means like your negative vector. If they have same magnitude, opposite direction, negative vector, but may or may not have. So that is called anti-parallel vectors. Two vectors have same, two vectors have opposite direction and may or may not have same magnitude are called anti-parallel vectors. Means vector A, vector B, vector A, vector B. What is the angle between these two? 180. Angle part I will discuss. Angle theta is equal to 180. How this angle is calculated, we will discuss in the next. But for the time being, you write this as a 180 degree between anti-parallel vectors. Clear? Then we will go for the another definition slide. The next term associated with this vector is the modulus of a vector. Modulus of a vector. What is this modulus of a vector means? That is a term associated with vector algebra. In vector algebra, we will use this term modulus of a vector. The modulus of a vector means the magnitude of the vector. The magnitude of the vector. Modulus of a vector means magnitude of the vector. Magnitude of the vector. Means in vector representation we can say that a vector is represented like this with an arrowhead. The length give you the magnitude. This modulus represent the length. Means we write this as a vector. Deep mode. This is the, we can write magnitude of vector A. This is called as the modulus. Means modulus of a vector is a, without direction, it is a scalar. So I can say it is a scalar. This one is a scalar. Clear? Next we will go to the another one is called as your unit vector. That is most important thing. What is this unit vector? Unit means one. The name itself says unit, one. Here unit means one. Means a unit vector is a vector of unit magnitude. A unit vector is a vector of unit magnitude. Of unit magnitude. Means its magnitude is 1 unit. 1 Newton. 1 force is a vector. 1 Newton. 1 unit. 5 kilometer per hour. 1 kilometer per hour. That is 1 unit. That is called 1 unit. And of unit magnitude drawn in the direction of a given vector. And that should be drawn in the direction of a given vector. It means if there is a given vector, then we will go for a unit vector. Like that. It is a given vector A. If I say what is this unit vector, suppose this is 10 centimeter. I take 1 centimeter, 1 unit magnitude drawn in the direction of the given vector. In this direction. This is the unit vector. This is the unit vector. This part. This is the unit vector. And how they are represented? The unit vector, this portion is represented as A cap. We read this as A cap. Head. Cap. That's like that. A cap. And what is this A cap? A cap is equal to the vector. It is both magnitude and direction. Now if the magnitude is divided again. Now I divide this magnitude. 5 kilometer per hour towards north. Towards north. Divided by, what is this magnitude? 5 kilometer per hour. Means what is this one? 1 towards north. 1 unit towards north. This is a unit vector. Same direction of the given vector, but the magnitude is 1 unit. Clear? Is that clear? So it is represented like this. So unit vector. It means a vector can be represented as, after knowing this unit vector, a vector can be represented as its magnitude multiplied with its unit vector. What it means? Magnitude, modulus means magnitude of the vector multiplied with, what is the magnitude here? 1. If 1 is multiplied with 5, 1 is multiplied with 10, the magnitude does not change. But the unit vector now gives you a direction. So this combinedly gives you the vector, both magnitude and direction. So this is the magnitude part, this gives you the direction part. This is called as the unit vector. Clear? Right? Now we go for the another. Now come to fixed vector. What is this fixed? The vector whose initial point is fixed. the vector whose initial point is fixed, or tail is fixed. There is the tail part and head part. The arrow part is head and the length part is the tail part. The tail is fixed. That is called as a fixed vector, or that is also called as a localized vector, or this is also called as a localized vector. Localized means the initial point is fixed. The initial point is fixed. It means the vector whose initial point is fixed. The vector whose initial point is fixed is called, I am not writing about the type. The vector whose initial point is fixed is called fixed vector. Whose initial point is fixed is called a fixed vector. Example, your position vector. Why? Its initial point is fixed. Initial point is fixed, right? Then next one is the, because initial point is for this localized vector, for position vector, its initial point is at the origin. Then next is the free vector. If it is fixed, then what is this free vector? Can I make the correction? Make this correction here. Let me write free vector. This is also called non-localized vector. Non-localized vector. What is this? The vector whose initial point is not fixed. What the correction I am making? Is not fixed. Is called free vector or non-localized vector. It's called free vector or non-localized vector. So here most of the vectors are free vector. The velocity, force, all these are free vector. Their initial point is not fixed, right? I am moving here, this velocity. Now I am moving there, velocity. So that is initial point is not fixed. So that is called the, but these are called as a free vector or non-localized vector. Clear? Then next one is the collinear vectors. Collinear. All are in same line. The vectors which act along the same line or along parallel lines right? The same. Collinear means they have in the same line. Okay, so let me write here collinear vector. The vectors linear on the same line. The vectors which act along the same line. Along the same line or parallel or along parallel lines or along parallel line or along the parallel line are called collinear vector. Are called collinear vector. They are called as a collinear vector. Is that clear? So, if I ask you, what is the angle between two collinear vectors? What is the angle between the two collinear vectors? Now you see, means the vectors which act along the same line or along parallel lines. So if they are parallel, already you know that. So they have the same direction. They are in the common line. Vector A, vector B, same line. What is the angle between them? This is the angle part. We will discuss that part later. So these two vectors are like this. So what is the angle between this one? 0 degree. So here theta is equal to 0. I will show here that the direction part is different thing. But for collinear vectors, there is a 0 degree. If they are parallel. Right? Now here you come across a definition. Already we have discussed parallel and anti-parallel vectors. Parallel and anti-parallel vectors from collinear. They are in the common line. Clear? They are in the common line. Like this. Vector A, vector B. These are collinear and also parallel. So this is called also parallel vectors. So this is one of the case of, you can say, collinear vectors. The same case, vector A and vector B. They are parallel, but in opposite direction. That is anti-parallel. They are anti-parallel. They are anti-parallel. Magnitude whatever may be. So this is called as a anti-parallel vectors. Already we discussed. That means in collinear vectors you will come across with the parallel vectors and anti-parallel vectors. Clear? Right? So my point is that collinear means they have the common line. They may be parallel or anti-parallel. Parallel means also called like vectors. Anti-parallel means unlike vectors. That is the point. And for parallel vectors, angle is 0 degree. For anti-parallel, angle is 180. I will discuss how the angle is decided in vector notation. That in the next class we will decide. But for the time being, remember this thing. Okay. Then we will go for the coplanar vectors. Coplanar. Coplanar vector. What is this coplanar vectors? Coplanar. Common plane. Planar means plane. All the vectors which act in the same plane. The vectors which act in the same plane are called coplanar vectors. Are called coplanar vectors. If I draw number of vectors on this plane, on this whiteboard, all are coplanar. A, B, C, all are coplanar. All are coplanar. Clear? So this is the coplanar vectors. Clear? So this is the coplanar vectors. Then co-initial vectors. Just write the statements. Co-initial vectors. They are terms we need in the due course of time. Co-initial vectors. The vectors which have the same initial point. The vectors have the same initial point. Same initial point. The vectors have the same initial point are called co-initial vectors. Initial point means starting point. Already you know that initial point means this is the initial from here. So this is a vector A. Another vector B. Another vector C. Different direction, but the initial point is fixed. So that's why it is called co-initial. F. All our initial point is fixed. That is called co-initial vector. Similarly, we will get co-terminus vector. Here, after this knowing these co-initial vectors, now we will go for the co-terminus vector. Terminus means end terminal is fixed. End terminal means arrowhead. All the arrows meet at a point. That is co-terminus. The vectors which have the common terminal point. The vectors which have the common terminal point are called coterminous vectors. Means a vector A, another vector B, another vector C, all have the same point. All act at the same point. Terminal, 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 initial, initial, initial. Not common initial, common terminal. So it is called coterminous vector. Clear? Now, then come to another one, the zero vector, or called as a null vector. Now you can ask me, what is the need of this zero vector or null vector? See, a simple logic is that what is the need of this zero vector or this null vector? If the zero vector, then we will go for the need. First I will write the definition here. Let me write the definition. The zero vector null vector is a vector which has zero magnitude. The vector which has zero magnitude and arbitrary direction, arbitrary, any direction, arbitrary direction is called null vector. What it means? A vector is represented by this length. This length gives you the magnitude of the vector with an arrow. Now it has zero magnitude, means this is zero. Zero means I will reduce this one like this, like this, like this. Zero. So I will get a dot. If that dot, if I put an arrow, it has no meaning. So if that is the dot, that is the representation of the zero vector or null vector, means a dot. That is the representation. That dot has arbitrary direction. You can move that dot in this direction, in this direction, in this direction, any direction you can imagine. That's why it is an arbitrary direction. Now, what is the need of this zero vector? Suppose, if need of this one, if C is equal to minus D. These are 5 and equal to, or you can say a quantity like that, right? If I got a quantity that x is equal to minus y, or C is equal to minus D. They are scalar parts, don't like directions. C is equal to minus D. Now, if I will get, if I write C plus minus D like this, C plus or minus D, and again I write a vector A. How will it represent that? How will it represent that? This is nothing but a zero vector or null vector. A dot is the representation of the zero vector, but don't put as a dot. It is written like this: zero, magnitude zero, arbitrary direction. This is the vector. Means it is a vector, the result should be a vector. But these scalars, they are C is equal to minus D. So if you put C is equal to minus D, this will be 0. So 0 multiplied with this vector, you are getting a null vector. That should be represented by a vector. A vector should be represented by a vector. What you are doing here, that is not matter. But that should be a vector. You cannot show that is a 0. 0 is a scalar. 0 vector. That is a null vector. Clear? It is the null vector. Similarly, if I will tell you there is a vector A and minus B, the 2A is equal to negative vector of B. This meaning the negative vector of B. Means and B are the two vectors, same magnitude and opposite direction. Now they act in the same place. Means A plus of minus B. What I write here? You are adding two vectors. Are you writing a scalar? No. If you are adding two vectors, I should get a vector. So if I want to get a vector, I should write that vector. But what is this magnitude? Both have same magnitude. They have same magnitude. But the magnitude is here. When the vectors are added, magnitudes are added. But here one magnitude and another, but opposite direction. So A minus B, that can be written as a null vector or a zero vector. Clear? Means if I ask you the position vector of the origin of the coordinate axis, the position vector of the origin of the coordinate axis is a null vector. The question is like this. This is the coordinate system x, origin, y. Point P. Now the point P comes here. Then what is the position vector of this origin? 0. No magnitude. It is arbitrary. You can say here, you can say here, you can say here, you can say here, any direction. That is a zero vector. Right? So this is called as your example of a zero vector. Right? Now another some properties of the zero vector. For the time you remember, when a zero vector is added to any vector. First, when a zero vector is added to any vector, you will get the same vector. You will get the same vector. When a zero vector subtracted from any vector, you will get the same vector. Means if you take a vector, subtract a zero vector from that vector, you will get the same vector. You will get the same vector. Clear? Next, when a zero vector is multiplied by a magnitude or a scalar. Suppose C is a scalar, only magnitude is multiplied with a zero vector. Right? A zero vector is multiplied by a non-zero scalar. The scalar has some value 5, 7, 9, 9 like this. We get again a zero vector. Then fourth point. When a vector is multiplied by 0, then a vector A is a vector multiplied with 0 magnitude. Scalar. 0 is a scalar or 0 magnitude. Then you will get a 0 vector. Then you will get a 0 vector. Is that clear? So this is the 0 vector or a null vector. Okay. Now the next thing is the another is the displacement vector. Now go for the displacement vector. Displacement vector. What is displacement vector? Remember the displacement vector, it is a vector which gives the position of a point with reference to a point. It gives position of a point with respect to another point. With respect to another point. With respect to a point. To another point other than the origin. Other than the origin. Other than the origin of the coordinate system. It gives position of a point with respect to another point other than the origin of the coordinate system. Other than the origin of the coordinate system. Now you think, when you discuss about the position vector, let me explain by an example like that. Let this is the coordinate system with origin O. Let at time t the object that the point is at t. Then what is its position vector? OP. You can put this arrow here also. This is suppose R1. Now at another time the point comes here Q. What is its position vector with respect to the origin? OQ. Let this is R2. These are represented position vectors. Now at time t1, let at time t1 the object is at point is P. At time t2 this is at Q. Then what is this displacement vector? It gives the position of a point with respect to another point other than the origin. I am not discussing about the origin. I am finding this point other than the origin with respect to this point, like this. I will show by a vector. If you join like this, so this PQ like that is the displacement vector. Displacement vector. At what time? At t2 where the particle is there with respect to P with another point other than the origin. This is called as your displacement vector. Right? If you change the origin here, the displacement vector remains same. Means changing the origin, the displacement vector is not affected. Clear? The displacement vector is not affected. We will discuss this more detail when we come across with some examples like your distance and displacement. There we will understand this more clearly. For the time being, I am discussing about this thing. Okay. Now after getting all these things, now let me switch over to another one. Now so far the terms, all these things we have decided. We have the term or we have give the definition of different vectors. In addition to that, you will get also some other vectors are there. If I left someone, then I will discuss in due course of time. But remember one thing, broadly you can say this all the vectors can be divided into two types. One is called polar vectors and other one is called axial vectors. So now we will go for the polar vectors. What is polar vectors means? Polar vectors means the vectors which have a starting point or a point of application. The vectors which have a starting point. Starting. Are called polar vectors. Are called what? Polar vectors. The vectors which have a starting point are called polar vectors. Apply the force now. So this is the starting point. Here the force is applied. From here the force is applied. Here the force is applied. This is the starting point. I start from here with 5 km per hour speed, velocity. 5 km per hour. Starts from here. That is the which have a starting point. Velocity, force, right? Starting point, displacement from P to Q. P the starting point. Back end, Q end, right? So there is a starting point. So most of the vectors are force, displacement, velocity are the polar vectors, right? Examples you can say that velocity, force, etc. Then let's go for the axial vectors. And these vectors comes in here when the body is rotating in clockwise or anti-clockwise. There is a rotation, right? The vector which represent rotational effect and act along the axis of rotation. Act along the axis of rotation. Simple example. If I want to open the cap, I will rotate like this. I will rotate like this. If I rotate that like this, what is the result I am getting? It is rotating. Final is this one. It is coming up. I am rotating like this, but the result is like this along the axis. Means the point is that the vector which represent rotational effect, represent rotational effect. The vector which, let me complete this one, the vector which represents rotational effect, and act along the axis of rotation, and act along the axis of rotation is called axial vectors. Is called axial vectors. Means this along the axis of rotation, that is by a definite rule that we will discuss. But the vectors which represent rotational effect and acts along the axis. It rotates the body, but the vector is acting along the axis like this. The body is like this rotating, but the vector is like this along the axis. That is called axial vectors. That is called as the axial vectors. Okay. Thank you, students. Go for this all these things. Okay. And you will get a clear idea about these definitions. Thank you.